Hello, I'm Brandon Satterwhite, and today I'm going to be talking about daily fantasy sports and why it does not qualify as internet gambling and should not be outlawed nationwide. Now, for those of you who don't know what daily fantasy sports is, used to, fantasy sports was offered through entertainment entities such as ESPN, CBS Sports, or Yahoo, and others, and they were season-long things for each sport. One day before the season started, you and some of your friends would get together and have a draft day, and you would draft real players onto your imaginary teams. And then throughout the season, you would be matched up with another person in your league, and both of you would gain points based on how those players performed in their games. The person with the most points wins. Now, a few years ago, these daily fantasy sites such as DraftKings and FanDuel came along with no season-long commitment. Every day you draft a new team. Instead of just drafting them, though, you have to manage your money, so to say. You're given a dollar amount that you can spend on players based on how much money you put into the game, your past performance, etc. Each player is given a certain dollar amount, and you have to draft a full team every day. Better players have a better dollar amount, so you have to manage your money wisely. So what is the problem here? In 2006, Congress passed and President George W. Bush signed into law the Unlawful Internet Gambling Enforcement Act, UIGEA, its purpose was to prevent the use of certain payment instruments, credit cards, and fund transfers for unlawful internet gambling. However, this law had a carve-out clause for fantasy sports at the time that said unlawful internet gambling does not include participation in any fantasy sports game in which no fantasy simulation sports team is based on a current membership of an actual team. Well, as you can see here, this is a screenshot from a DraftKings team. These players are not all from the same team. Derek Carr from the Oakland Raiders, D'Angelo Williams from the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's all from different teams. It also says in the law that all prizes and awards offered to winning participants must be made known prior to joining the game. This is another screenshot from DraftKings. You can easily see the entry fee and the total prize possible before you enter the game. The final clause in the law to be considered legal fantasy sports is all winning outcomes reflect the relative knowledge and skill of the participants and are determined predominantly by the accumulated statistical results of the performance of individuals in multiple real-world sporting events. You can see here, these players are competing in multiple sporting events. And here's a statistical breakdown on DraftKings. And as you can see, these players are gaining points based on how they performed in the game, based on their statistics. According to this, daily fantasy sports is not gambling and should not be outlawed nationwide. However, these sites do need to follow certain state laws, but they follow UIGEA's guidelines for fantasy sports and should not be outlawed. Thank you.